On this edition of INI9, I have with me Ayesha Siddiqa all the way from Islamabad, and we're going to talk about her recent paper in EPW, where she argued that the military and the middle class in Pakistan are in it together, and within the context of a hybrid theocracy. Maybe Ayesha, you can just tell us what do you think? What is your core argument in the sense that there is a traditional elite and there is a new elite and there's a conflict between the two?
I wouldn't say that, well, it's a conflict of sorts. Because you see, firstly, one needs to understand that what Pakistan has is not a middle class, because we do not have an industrial base. What we have is an middle income class. So this middle income class has all the same problems as you would have in a pre-capitalist culture, which is a mix of post-colonial capital and a feudal culture. This middle class, my argument is no different than the traditional elite. This one is equally authoritarian. This one is as much in love with the military and any forms of authority as the traditional elite. There is no difference. So when we talk of this Imran Khan tsunami, which seems to be knocking at our doors, then we are looking at a force which is going to be extremely brash, authoritarian in its character and ethos, and which will not do things any differently than the way it has been done in the past. In fact, this one may have, this new force may even represent our own version of fascism. Because this also represents a new Pakistan which has emerged, or which is still in the process of making. And this new Pakistan, my thesis is, that may not have come out that much in the EPW piece, but what I believe in looking at Pakistan is that right now there are two Pakistans there. One is a Pakistan which is more marginalized, which is plural, which is which is a people's Pakistan, the ordinary folks' Pakistan. Which is as ordinary, as simple, as sweet or bitter as any other place in the world. And then you have this more top-down authoritarian Pakistan, which is in the making, where the military wants to ensure the establishment, led by the military, wants to make sure that this one is more nationalistic. This is more centrist in its approach. And it kind of, they have managed to succeed in creating this melting pot of sorts where different people, different nationalities, ethnicities have merged into this centrist Pakistan and subscribing to its ideology. And one of the key factors is that if you want to, and one of the key tools for that, creating that Pakistan, is kleptocratic distribution of resources. So if you want to be part of that success cycle, if you want to make anything of your life, then you have to, be part of this centrist top-down Pakistan.
But in a way, this narrative, this national narrative, is something which Pakistan had always lacked and wanted, right? That there is this idea of finding identity and a narrative which sort of unifies the various classes, ethnicities, and religious sectarian identities in Pakistan into a common national identity. So in that sense, in itself, it's not a bad thing, isn't it?
You see, but I think this is not the Pakistan that, a lot of us, which would make, a lot of us happy. Because what it does, you see, the formula is the following. Either you co-opt or you will be coerced. So anybody who's left out of this narrative, who does not subscribe to it, is either forced, or is left out. And left out in certain cases is as bad as being coerced. at a very, very personal, basic level, I can tell you that the cost of questioning military authority, what I tried to do by writing my book and subsequent work, the cost was not in terms of direct threat to my life, but the cost was precisely a social cost. The cost of being ostracized, and at one level, it's extremely killing. And when you and one of the reasons it becomes killing is that when you then turn around and see, you find that a lot of people who were with you at some stage had left and gone over to the other side. That's one. This is one of the soft examples. Look at another one. Look at what's happening in Balochistan, for instance. Look at what is happening to the sectarian communities. Look at what is happening to the religious minorities. So, if you're not part of this bigger machine, I would say, I am not a great fan of nationalism, be it Pakistani or Indian or anywhere else, because it is at the cost of humanism, often at the cost of humanism. And I don't think that this is a kind of Pakistan that we had thought of even during the 1980s.
But now let's look at it this way: if there has to be a challenge to this narrative or this process of a new political orientation of Pakistan, where would this challenge come from? Do you think in the near term there is a hope for this kind of a challenge to emerge?
Some of it is there. You see, some of it is there. It's organic. It's not that it's not there. Now, there are these political parties which are extremely inefficient, extremely problematic, and that is one of the major points. There are Pakistanis who are talking about an alternative narrative. The one key issue is how do you bring all of these forces together? And this is not just any other problem, this is a major problem. How do you bring them together to present an alternative force? And, when you look around, yesterday in Islamabad, we had this meeting. This was kind of remembering 16 December and the events around that, and talking about civil-military relations. And so there were people, and I think people eventually get very unhappy when you say that there are greater challenges than solutions. People at the end of a conversation want to talk about hope. I just love it. It's like the old theory of a movie. It has to have a good ending.